Good. So, holy cow. Happy Friday, everybody. We haven't done one of these in a Friday in a long time. So, this is the Ask a Painter live show. I am Nick Slavik. I am the proprietor of the Nick Slavik Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of this show, Ask a Painter Live. It's a weekly live Facebook show where I use my over 2 decades, almost 3 now, of experience to answer any questions you have. Tonight, special Friday night show. We've got a cocktail. We've got some music going in the war room. And I'm just here for an open show. Anything you guys want to talk about, questions, comments, you can put them in the comments in Instagram or Facebook. I have some things that I want to talk about tonight. We have a Minnesota Masters class. We have the Gathering of Minnesota Painters. I'll tell you what's going on next week, which forced me to do one of these Friday night. But Chris Sherrist, oh man, how's it going? We watch Chris do automotive painting, and it's super impressive. So yeah, that's awesome. Holy cow. Robert Allen, how you doing, man? Looking good yourself. Aaron Steininger, how's it going? Oh yes. So Devin, you know it, man. I'm going on vacation next week. So you guys are going to get something interesting or not next week. I have never missed 1 week of Ask a Painter Live in over 5 years. And I've done them from frozen ice shanties in the middle of the wilderness where I can barely get cell reception. I've done it from this island in the Gulf of Mexico, which I'm going back to. I've done it from Canada. I've done it from California. I've done it from the Northeast. I've done it from all over. I've done it from Brazil before. I've never missed a show. And you guys are going to get something interesting always, which is I'm going to a little wilderness island and I am going to do a live show this next week there. Now, what you guys have to look forward to, obviously, we're not going to be doing any paint demos or anything. We are going to be doing, I am going to be doing some deep introspection. So normally what happens when I go to this island, when I do any kind of retreat with my family, I'm pulled away from my business. I'm pulled out of the day-to-day operations. And I'm forced to reckon with my own thoughts and feelings. And I get super introspective when we do that sort of thing. So as you guys want, I already see, oh my God, holy cow, we got a lot of questions coming in already. Any questions, any comments you guys want? If you want to talk about a topic, it can be business related. It can be anything you want to talk about. We are here to talk about tonight. So just type it in there below. And I'm going to give you a little context, a little stuff up front, and then we're going to start hammering out some of these things here. So let me check out IG real quick here. See what we got. Oh man, you guys are awesome. I see a whole bunch of awesome people that I recognize here. So, all right, peoples. Holy cow. All right. They are coming in hot and heavy here. So, all right. Things that have been happening lately. We've had a Minnesota Masters class. Today, we just had the Gathering of Minnesota Painters. Some awesome people showed up for that too. Amazing group of people. And then I'll detail what's going on next week. So a week ago Friday, we had a Minnesota Masters class, and it was semi-public. I wanted to respect Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams put this on, and it wasn't necessarily an invite only, but they wanted their paint reps to invite people. So I apologize to some of my Minnesota people and upper Midwest people who messaged me saying, hey, what's up with this? I didn't hear about it, or I heard about it and I didn't see any further information. Sherwin-Williams put this on as a private event, and they sent their paint reps out to invite people personally to those things. So I respected that. I made a little bit known about it so that people could understand what's going on. But otherwise, I just wanted to see the type of people that showed up, and I was not disappointed. So obviously I'm biased from the upper Midwest, born and raised in Minnesota. There are some very deep thinkers up here in the upper Midwest. I don't know if it's because we have 7.5 months of winter every year that we're forced to be introspective and think, but there are an amazing group of people up here. And we have the Silicon Valley of paint sprayers. We have the world headquarters of Wagner, Titan, and Graco right up here in Minnesota. We have a brain trust of information of our industry here. And it was a great time. So we had a packed house again. This was at the Sherwin-Williams district headquarters up here. And they did something which is really cool. We had this beautiful Panera breakfast laid out for everybody. And yes, I'm just realizing this now. I have stickers all over my shirt because I am a father of 4 young children. And evidently, I accumulated some stickers today after I got back from work. So they are here. They're loving thoughts of my children right here. So I have, what do we got here? We got troll stickers here. So there we go. Awesome group of people. We did one of my master's classes, which is really cool, which is in the morning, we did estimating master's class. And in the afternoon, we did, what did we do? Professionalization. Yeah. So it was a really interesting sort of thing because the estimating master's class, you can get a piece of data from that you cannot get anywhere else. You can get actual market rate data from the people in your area. So one of the exercises that we go through is we pick a typical, like the most commoditized thing that we have in our industry, which is sort of like a bedroom wall repaint. Most bedrooms, don't surprise you, they're about the same size. And, we all estimate the same thing, tightly organized, tightly regulated. And I actually aggregate those anonymously and show people in the room what the average sale price is, what the high, what the low, how much materials we use, high and low, and then how much labor hours we use, high and low. And you can get sneaky market rate data from that. And that was an absolute blast. That group was so substantial. We actually blew right through lunch. There was about an extra hour and a half of question and answers, comments and things. So we were actually behind budget. Normally I'm under budget in most of those things. We blew right through it. And Sherwin-Williams did something really awesome, which was not only did they lay out a full Panera breakfast, they had a food truck show up and make us food for lunch like that. So that was absolutely wonderful. So I personally want to thank all you awesome people who take a day off. I mean, it is July, it is August in Minnesota. We don't have the longest winters ever. And I really, really want to thank you for taking a day of production off. It's costly in many ways. It's costly in many ways to be there that day. But universally, everybody after says totally worth it. And that's the most humbling thing that somebody can say, which is I didn't paint today. And you know what? I'm better off because of it. So it's a really, really interesting thing. So I'm going to start. Oh, we are getting an accumulation of Facebook comments here. I don't want to leave them be. So Devin. Oh, thanks. Devin Nolan. I got to meet Devin, bright young mind over in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So, David Cougar, Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, that is, it's interesting. I've been learning about that sort of thing because my company works a 4-day work week. The leadership team and myself works about a 4.5-day work week. And if I'm being honest, I probably work a 70-hour work week, but I still get off Friday afternoons. I try to keep myself to that to hang out with the family like that. So yes, I've been educated in Shabbat Shalom very much. So thank you for that. Travis, who pressure washes each job, crews, or dedicated pressure washer guys or girls? So interestingly enough, we have this farm team. This is kind of interesting. We have this farm team of seasonal people. We call them our seasonal varietals. They are teachers, they are students, they are people who come and join us during the summer. And we get this great group of guys who come back every year, and they are masters. They are killers. They know our exterior painting and exterior deck restoration process like no others. And they do most of the heavy lifting with that because most of our main company people, our full-time employees, are insane masters in interior fine finishing. So they still do exterior stuff and they know our wash process too. But a lot of the times we let our seasonals go out there and do the heavy lifting of the deck restorations, the pergolas, the porches, the things like that, so that our other people can focus on these insanely delicate, intricate, long-term interior projects, things like that. So yeah, we do. Technically, I mean, there are some people who don't know how to wash yet in their apprenticeship, but generally everybody has, everybody kind of knows our general process. And it's not that we've invested 10 years in everybody else because nobody's been around my company that long. It's the point that we have a super, super simple system for it, and it doesn't take long for people to learn it. So it's a wonderful, simple, intuitive system, and it's a wonderful thing. So, oh, Mark Blackers, how's it going, man? Thomas Powell, how are you doing, man? Mark Hughesland, I'm in Alaska on vacation fishing for the last 2 weeks. Super fun. Oh, that is so cool, man. Mark is a fellow in location with me here, and that's so awesome. Yeah, one of my best friends in the industry, Jason Paris, was just in Alaska. He actually got back from Alaska at about 10:30 last night, and still showed up for the Gathering of Minnesota Painters today, which is pretty cool. So I tell you what, a couple more Facebook comments, and we're going to hop over to IG here. So. David Delgado, how you doing? Candelas, how you doing? Let's see. Good evening, Nick from DC Pro Painters in Lancaster. It was awesome to meet you and your wife, and I was super inspired by what you guys got going on there. So, David Coles, too funny. I'm on site tonight, crushing out a trim, spray, and wall paint. Hey, man, we've all done it, right? You would be lying if you said that you didn't put in, if somebody said they didn't put in long hours eventually in this stuff. Yeah, I have forsaken many vacations. I have forsaken many evenings, many weekends, Easters, Christmas. I mean, every other vacation you can possibly imagine and holiday you can imagine for this trade. And it's fine if you're working towards something and you're profitable and you're being intentional, but you do not want to do that forever. Family will put a stop to that very quickly. They'll put some bookends on that for you. So, okay. So David Coles, are you folks experiencing paint shortages? So, all right, sensitive subject, right? We've all been through global pandemic, which we didn't know what to think. We could have had all our businesses made illegal, shut down, everything else. We went through some insane unrest in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Some people forgot about this, but in the wake of a global pandemic, the streets of Minneapolis and St. Paul were on fire last year. I don't talk about this much. Two of my people in my company are National Guards people, and they were given assault rifles, and they were sent into the streets of Minneapolis to guard against their own last year. And I don't know how I feel about that. That is a weird thing. Coming from somebody who's been to 2 wars as an Afghanistan and Iraq vet, I don't know how I feel about that. That's an interesting thing. When I think about, I know their families. It's an interesting thing. So, global pandemic, unrest, and we think, well, what could be worse? We can't buy paint. Of all the things that we took for granted over the last how many years we've all been in business, we thought, well, Sherwin and Benjamin Moore and Hirschfield's and all our beloved paint companies, they'll definitely at least be willing to sell us paint. Now we can't even take that for granted because there's force majeure, there's weather, there's all sorts of crazy things going on. I will tell you guys this. If we're being honest here, there's 2 ways to deal with this shortage. For every product that you use, you should have between 5 and 10 items. That's a contingency plan, which is, here's my number 1. And if we can't get that, we go to number 2. If we can't get that, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. I wrote lists of this for every single coating in my company, all the way out to 8 or 10 ways down the way, in case there's just nothing there. I don't think we've ever gone past number 2. Now, if you want the cheat code for not being affected by paint shortages, is to have a very large company and buy lots of paint, because you will get different treatment than people who don't buy much paint and give paint companies a lot of hassle. So one thing that and this is something I really don't hear a lot of people talk about, which is a lot of times the only relationship people have with their paint reps is, you need to lower my price and you need to come tell this client I didn't ruin their house. And all we do is ask of our paint reps. Like, yes, we give these companies a lot of money, and yes. But you have to understand, those are humans on the other side of this. They are feeding their families by hitting their marks, hitting their budgets, hitting their things too. And it's tight. It's not easy. I've had an inside look into every paint company, every paint rep that I've had. And you know what? It's not a given. It's not this gravy job like that. They're out there doing it just like us. They experience crazy sort of limiting things just like we do. And the one thing I would stress is I think one thing that I've done very well over the years is always offer a reciprocal relationship with my paint reps, which is I will never ask you to go to bat for me in a situation where I don't deserve it. And in almost 14 years of business, I've asked paint companies to pay for 2 jobs in total of all of those things because of a absolutely obvious paint failure. I've been golfing and I've had lunch and I've spent days with paint reps from every single company we all use. And their cell phone lights up every single day with people basically asking them for things and never giving anything in return. So what I took away from that is I'm not going to be a pain in the ass. I'm not going to be standing in your stores demanding things. I'm not going to be needy. I'm not going to do last minute things. I'm not going to make you stand in front of my clients and tell them that I didn't ruin this house when clearly we made a human error on this and we're just going to take care of it ourselves. In return, what I do with my paint reps, which is something I would recommend for everybody, is let's make a handshake agreement. I want an insanely good price on these core things that I use. And in return, I'm going to give you so much revenue per year. And last year, we were projecting a growth of somewhere between 20 and 30%, give or take, before the pandemic. And even in the pandemic, we grew 40%. So how that conversation looked at the start of the year is, hey, Mr. Paint Rep, these are the 4 main products we use. I want a world-class price on these 4 products. And in return, I will give you 30% more revenue this year. And it ended up being 40. And in turn, they said, okay, you hold up your end of the bargain, I hold up mine. And you know what? They got more than they bargained for. They gave me a good price on these products, and I gave them 40% more revenue last year instead of 20 to 30. I would urge you guys to do that, because a relationship like that with a paint rep, even with a paint store, managers, workers there, you may not experience a paint shortage. You may not experience the same paint shortage that other people do if you have a good relationship. And that is the best advice. And that is not a secret. That is not I say it's a cheat code. It's not a cheat code. It's being a good human to other people. And magically it works out better for you. So, all right, let's go a couple more Facebook things here, and then we'll hop over to IG. Nick Nagel, quick question, painters. When spraying a basement near water heater and furnace, what precautions? Oh my God, I have not talked about this in a long time. So there is a thing called a flammable vapor sensor on almost all new water heaters. And we are put in a pickle because of it. Because if we're spraying any sorts of solvents, oil primer, varnishes, things like that, this flammable vapor sensor detects, it's there so that if the pilot light goes out and a whole bunch of flammable vapor, propane, gas, oil, whatever, floods the basement, it kicks off that water heater and makes it inoperable because it doesn't want it to fire back up and then ignite all that stuff in there. So most of the time, in earlier versions of this, it would render that sensor inoperable. It was a one-time use. It kicked it off. And how this made itself known over the years is Friday night, we'd sprayed a bunch of oil primer during the week. Friday night, a client calls me and says, we got no hot water in the house. And then we have to send a plumber over because our oil primer kicked off the flammable vapor sensor. And, $220 later, they replace it and move on. But it's not a conversation you want to have with a client all the time. So the problem is you can mask these things off, but then you're circumventing the safety feature of one of those things. And I don't feel comfortable with that either. So the best thing you can do is ventilate the house really well. So using negative air pressure, push-pull air, you can go out and buy crazy air scrubbers, all these thousands and thousands of dollars of air scrubbers. But honestly, what you can do is get box fans, put them on high, put one of them in one end of the house, one in the other end of the house and do a push-pull system where one box fan pushes in, the other one pulls air out, and you can evacuate dust and odor very quickly in that house. Another thing you can do too is these are mostly located, at least in the upper Midwest, we have basements. Unlike some other Florida and Arizona and California people, you can actually take the utility room, which is generally downstairs, seal that room off like that so things don't come in, seal off the air returns and air exchange vents and things like that. And you can prevent some of the odor and the dust from getting there and kicking it off. Or you can just have a plumber on call in case it does, so that if you do not have hot water, you can immediately get that either switched out. Now, what I am seeing though is these flammable vapor sensors are becoming resettable. So it may be one of those things where if you do kick one off, you may be able to reset it. I don't know if that's a thing yet, though. Don't take my word for it. Best operating procedure is to call a plumber and figure it out with them. So, all right, let's go through some IG stuff here. Man, you guys are awesome. I love this. All right, come on. Back down to comments here. Just scrolling through IG quick here. Oh, Painters for Less. How's it going? We talked this week. Paint it and restore it. Thank you for watching. Oh, man. Whole bunch of people watching on IG here. Thank you, guys. Oh, Josh Dangle. Oh, family member Josh Dangle. How's it going? You should be hanging out with your family instead of watching a painter here. So what's that? Oh, Dale Melchin. Is that whiskey? Yes. So this is actually Minnesota-made rye whiskey. It's called Rocknar. I'm sure it's pronounced something else. We have a whole bunch of Viking ancestry here in Minnesota, hence the Minnesota Vikings. And it could be Ragnar, but it's an actual Minnesota rye whiskey. I'm a big fan of rye. It's got a little different taste than regular bourbons, but it is a Minnesota-made one, and it is super cool. I love that stuff. And I usually like a couple ice cubes. And this one, I threw a slice of lemon and orange in it too, just so I don't look like I'm drinking a big cup full of booze, give or take. So also, isn't it a little late for this? Yeah. So interestingly enough, for those of you, depending on how long you've been watching Ask a Painter or not, Ask a Painter used to be a Friday at noon thing for a lot of years, because now that you guys know that I do a 4-day work week, 4-day work week generally, the company does, but I do about a 4.5-day work week for sure. And the end of my work week used to be, we'd work Monday through Thursday, go hardcore. And then Friday morning, it was my visionary morning. It was getting the things done that I wanted to do, future looking into the company. And at noon, that was sort of the end of it, the crescendo of my week, where it's like, I've done all my work. We've done all that we can do. And now I'm going to do Ask a Painter Live and kick off. The feedback from all that was, hey, I'm working. And, especially people East Coast, there's a 2-hour time difference, things like that. It didn't always hit them there. It's kind of in the middle of the workday. And then you talked about West Coast people on a different time thing. So what I've been doing for a while now is the Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And I've been really interested to connect with a completely different set of people. And depending on where you are in the country, the Ask a Painter live show over the last couple of months on that 8 a.m. Central time, it's caught a lot of people just as they wake up, grab a cup of coffee, roll over in bed, grab the phone, and here we are, and we're talking. And I actually can connect with a lot more people. So it's been a lot of fun to do that stuff. So, oh my God, Josh, family member Josh, Jack and Gus say hi. So listen, we love you guys. We miss you guys. We'll see you soon. So you guys do not need to be watching this right now, but we love you guys. And thank you so much. So, all right. Dale, that 2-tiered system is awesome. You have the main force and you have the summer reservists. Yes. So what's really interesting is that this, he's talking about my seasonal varietals. We kind of consider that like a farm team sort of thing. There are so many good people out here who are looking for that good summer job to come and go, make a bunch of cash, pay for college. We actually have a couple guys right now who are actually paying for college with this. I didn't think that was a thing anymore, but they're able to produce enough. I'm able to pay them enough where they're actually paying for college. This is a thing that I've only heard tell from my dad's generation. My dad went to a state college, and with a summer job, he was able to earn enough money to actually pay for that college. And when he got out of college, he was scot-free. He was debt-free. I thought that was a thing of the past. These young guys are so smart. They are evil geniuses. They are insanely smart people doing crazy degrees in school. And in the summer, they break themselves for these decks, these houses, our clients, and things like that. And they're putting away enough money to pay for college. And I could not be more happy. So I just love that stuff. So, all right, a couple more here. Oh, Jesus, 94C. Nick's secret to his awesome comb over his conversion varnish. Yeah. So I get asked, funnily enough, I get asked every once in a while what is in this stuff here, and it is actually cheap blue hair gel because probably 20 years ago. I had hair long enough to do this stuff. Before that, my old man gave me buzz cuts, and then I was in the army for a bunch of years and got out, and I was growing out my hair, and I just didn't want stuff flopping down. It wasn't a fashion statement years ago. It was me not wanting hair flopping down in my face when I was scraping a barn or power washing decks and things like that. So what I would do is get the largest container of blue super hold, extra hold, LA looks, the 11 out of 10 on their scale, and whatever was like $3 for a jug with like a handle on it. And I would just slick that stuff back and I would move on with my day on the days that I wasn't doing, hats and things like that. So yeah, conversion varnish should be a good one too. The only problem is conversion varnish isn't approved for anything outside of a spray booth. And I don't know that I would want to be in my own spray booth, slicking back my hair every day. So all right, let's go back through another couple of these guys here. Holy cow, everybody. This is so awesome. Not Shane Olson. Speaking of global pandemic, how's your business impacted? Did you see a dramatic slowdown? No. This is the most counterintuitive thing I've ever seen. So not Shane Olson from Instagram here. I experienced the craziest year of my life last year. Yes, there was all sorts of wildness going on. I learned some of the most valuable leadership lessons I've ever experienced in my entire 29 years in this last year, and it all dealt with humans. Humans were given a completely different set of economic circumstances last year. A lot of people were paid not to work, including business owners. And it was weird. You get to see how humans act under pressure and not under pressure. And it really reset a lot of my gauges as to what to expect, what not to expect, deliverables, things like that. We grew 40% last year. And what's interesting is that demand never went away. If we're all being honest, there was a pause. To me, it felt like there was a pause in spring because of uncertainty. But the demand never went away. We still had people asking for estimates. We still had the same amount of people accepting estimates, except they said, we're going to accept, just hold on. We just don't know when yet. So put us on your books. We'll get to you whenever we do that. So that's the biggest thing I had. I'm trying to think of what else. I planned for the worst. I planned for layoffs, furloughs. I planned for no demand, and none of that happened. We recruited heavily. I learned a lot of people lessons. Demand was high. We kept doing it. We kept doing it safely. We took care of our people. We physically shut the company down twice because I was looking out for my people, because we didn't know what was going on, and paid them for that time. I don't regret it because it's in service of them, but you learn a lot of lessons. You learn a lot of lessons through that stuff. So no, we were affected only by uncertainty, if I'm being honest, not Shane Olson. But hindsight is 2020. I certainly would have done a lot of things different for my people to make it more comfortable, to give more surety, and guide the process through. But again, we're all acting on, we thought the entire world was going to turn into zombies and start attacking each other at some point in the spring. So I am very grateful for my leadership team here. Making these decisions alone would have been much harder, if not impossible. The bright minds that I gathered in this company around me last year were key to making those decisions. Having other people from disparate backgrounds, experiences help me make those decisions was they guided me, they reset my calibers, and it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. I just loved it. So Uncle Dominic Crowley. If Dominic, listen, somebody commented on Instagram that their uncle may or may not be Dominic Crowley. Dominic Crowley is my hero, painter from across the pond, as they say. I love this guy, and sometime in my lifetime, I will go visit this guy and work with him because I love this, everything there. So, man, here we go. Oh, Josh, just getting one to bed. Hey, man, good luck. Joe Delafave. Oh, man, my good friend from Benjamin Moore, Joe Delafave. So Joe Delafave was one of the people who put his arms around me in the industry years ago when he probably shouldn't have, when I was just a single person painter. And we met at an industry event. And we instantly fell in love with each other because he is a beer snob and he knows everything about that sort of thing. But he also cares deeply about contractors and paint. And we had a great time. And he pulled me aside at an industry event. We went down to a brew pub and we drank a bunch of very finely crafted beers. And we got to know each other. And we just saw each other again in the Northeast tour when I went up there. So always a pleasure, Joe. Love that stuff. So, all right. Mark Abel, 97 from Instagram. Knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self? Everything you worry about now is bullshit. It's not real. You don't know yet what you should be worrying about. Everything that holds you back from having happiness, bliss, and less friction in your life is all in your head. It's an unsatisfying answer, but it's probably the realest answer. Yeah. It's I mean, you can go to spreadsheets and graphs and you can statistically prove that you don't have competition and that other people aren't holding you back. But at the end of the day, data is one thing, feelings is another. The feelings is we're our own worst enemies, right? Like we legitimately have so much head trash and so much limiting beliefs that if we could just conquer some of that and just do stuff, we would be way better off. So that's what I would say, Mark. I would say just do it. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're worrying about, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Lose a little money? Who cares? Just try it. It's an experiment. If you're conscious about it, if it's a controlled experiment, you control the variables, you'll learn a lesson, never repeat it. That is not a loss. I would almost argue that is the way that you win in business is fail quick, learn, never repeat it, and then go forth, give or take. Josh, yeah, we'll see you soon, man. Josh Dangle. Yeah, my extended family out there, out west. So, yeah, we will see you guys soon. No problem. Oh, Mark, I'm asking because I'm still new to the business. So, yeah, that's probably not usable information because you're going to worry about those things. And I still worry about them now. But the only benefit that I have over somebody in their first year of business is data. Well, I shouldn't say only. That is a huge benefit. I have 29 years of data to rely on. So, data plus feelings. The feeling is, I was talking with a bunch of people at the Gathering of Minnesota Painters, and we'll get to Facebook here too in a second. We're talking about the wild swings that we all go through as entrepreneurs, business owners, craftspeople, master craftspeople, arbiters of the trade, people on social media, that some days you wake up and you're like, I've done it. This is so great. My clients are so happy. We're doing such good work. The money's coming in. My employees are happy. Everything just feels right with the world. Proof of concept. And then some days you wake up and you're like, everybody hates me. This is all a joke. Like I'm not doing anything right. I've wasted my life. But you got to have a constant sort of like ballast of data and feelings because you don't want those wild swings. If you're only living in the everything is awesome, we're killing it, all that stuff, that's probably not true all the time. You want some data to bring you back down. But also when you're in the trough, when you're heading towards the abyss, the point of no return, you also want that data to bring you back up to say, no, dumb, you're fine. You're actually doing really good work. 98.9% of all your clients absolutely love your work and would recommend you to somebody else. And you know what? We got to take that for a win. It's the proverbial sort of negative YouTube comment thing. We will focus on a negative comment on social media, whatever. For every 100 great comments we get, there's that one negative one, and you focus on it. It means something more than those positive ones. We should not, it's human nature, but we have to be careful with that stuff. So, all right, Facebook stuff. All right, Nick Nagel. All right. Oh, how about David Coles? In Canada, we're short on everything, especially emerald urethane. So yeah, start making those contingency lists, everybody. How do you determine your profit per employee or your profit per project? Mark Blackhurst, you know better than to ask this question. This is job costing, my friend. So you start job costing each project. You track the materials and you track the labor, and then you calculate it as a percentage of revenue. And the magic numbers are 15% materials and 40% labor. If you can keep it at that or below, it's probably going to be a profitable project for a business of, that has employees, give or take. If you're a solopreneur, those numbers are going to change a little bit. But after a while, Mark, you can do an insane test like I did. I would not recommend it, but a few years ago, I did something that in hindsight was known as the reformation in the company, which was I needed to drive profitability. I'd been investing heavily in the company, training, vehicles, equipment, this and that, and we needed to turn a profit in order to pay for some of this. So the only way that I knew how to hold people accountable was to break the entire company out into one-person crews and give them jobs by themselves and track their individual production. And I would not recommend this because people work better in teams. And that is a lot of pressure for people, especially in a company like mine where we don't generally gather a whole bunch of people from the trades. These are people who've been inspired to get into the trades, and then I laid a bunch of pressure on them. And in hindsight, I would have done that different, but the data that I got from that informed years of actions that I took. And the reason I call it a success, the reformation, was because it was a condensed period of time. You could have done the same experiment over the course of like 18 months, but to me, I needed to make some quick decisions now. And what we did was 3 months, and it put a lot of pressure on people. It broke a few people, but it was insanely valuable to the life of this company and to all the people in it. We were insanely profitable that quarter, and it paid for a lot of the stuff we were investing in, and we're here because of it. So I'm very grateful. But that's a extreme version, and I tend to be an extremist with some of those things. So, all right, here we go. Aaron Smith, with everything going on in the world environment-wise, do you think our industry will go through rigorous regulations? I know low VOC was huge. How do you see our industry in 5 to 10 years? Yeah, so honestly, this is something I almost care nothing about because those are constraints put on us, whether we like them or not, and we're going to just let it be if they do that. What I would be more concerned about is the demand from the clients. Can you keep up with demand from clients? The government will always give us things to work around, but that's simple. It's everybody has the same thing. And when it's a level playing field, I don't worry about that stuff. The thing that I think about the most is the price of a gallon of paint. A regulation from the government is not going to be the thing that holds you back ultimately. And if you say it is, you're probably lying. That is not the thing that's holding you back. It's going to be all the time yourself and your own ability to execute your business plan. I'm stealing the words from a very smart person when I say that. So I would love to convert my entire company over to everything not solvent based, but some of the things aren't there yet. I fully believe that somewhere in the next 3 to 10 years, the coatings will be there and my entire company will be no solvents anymore. And I would be very happy for it, for everybody, for my clients, for that and everybody. So when I think about where this industry is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, regulations, VOCs, to me aren't going to be a factor in that. If you're curious, there is a crystal ball out there called New York and San Francisco, and look to them. And in San Francisco, you can only buy oil in quarts. and it's coming. It's coming for the rest of us, and I'm happy for it. Fine. If the other coatings can come along with it. So, Michael Crane, how's it going, man? God dang. Um, I love Michael Crane. Michael Crane is one of the deepest thinkers here, and I wish you would post more, Michael Crane. But I do also respect that sometimes you take breaks from social media. But man, we got to spend Michael and I finally got to spend some time at a master's class I did, and then even more time spent at a retreat, an influencer retreat we did with Surf Prep. And God, I love that guy. And I also love what he wrote on Facebook. No such thing as a paint emergency. That's it, man. We're coloring houses for a living. It's not the end of the world. This isn't a pipe burst in a basement because of freezing. This isn't an electrical circuit that doesn't work and your freezer's gonna, have all the food go bad in it. Like, we're just coloring houses for a living. So, David Cole's great response, Nick. I use Sherwin-Williams, and together we work as a team. They're amazing. Yeah, agreed. And you can have that. You can have that. You can have that relationship with anybody. It's a great thing. David Sandalis, how's traction working? It's working very well. Actually, interesting you bring up traction. We are actually working through traction together as a leadership team in my company. We're reading chapter by chapter and getting takeaways and implementing them in our business as we speak. So traction is going very well. Now, to me, business books are gross, right? Like, I'm usually not a big fan of business books, but traction's a good one. It's got some nuts and bolts stuff. It meshes with my personality, and it's got lots of just practical takeaways. And I seem to read it at least once or twice a year, and I take something away every year because the business is progressing, and you can't do it all in 1 year. Traction is an operating system for businesses. A lot of people use it, and to implement it all in 1 year is kind of insane. So what I do is I do the things that fit me now and will get an immediate benefit. And then I kind of move on to other things too. So, yeah. All right. See what else we got here. Aaron Smith, Far North Spirits. That's it, man. It's good up here. We can grow a lot of good stuff up here. We got that rich black soil that even on a day like this, it poured all night last night, and it was super hot, probably higher 80s today. And you walk outside and the soil is so rich, the humidity and everything is so high, it almost burns your nostrils when you come outside. Everything is just so rich. It's so cool like that. Al Harrison, really enjoyed the shop tour. Oh, yeah, man, no problem. The external furnace panel control system reminded me of the containment unit at Ghostbusters. Dude, you are not kidding, man. It's been an odyssey getting a code-approved spray booth in a shop here. And I love that Ghostbusters comparison. We should actually make it look like that. That would be a lot of fun where you insert the ghost trap and it contains I love that sort of stuff. Justin Fry, absolutely. So this is, I'm actually headed out very early with my family to a tropical island tomorrow morning. So I'm going to do an Ask a Painter live show now because I will be in transit. Actually, my flight will take off at the normal time where Ask a Painter would be on. So, Justin, I'm having a hard time getting the Gathering of Iowa Painters going. This is something we talked about in the Gathering of Minnesota Painters. This is just some weird little grassroots group that Jason Paris and I got going years ago, just because we like connecting with other people. This isn't any wide-reaching sort of scheme to make these all over the place. But what's been really interesting is that there's the Gathering of Ohio Painters. This is a funny inside joke in Minnesota, but the Gathering of Minnesota Painters called GOMP, Gathering of Minnesota Painters. There is a group in Ohio now, the Gathering of Ohio Painters, GOOP, like that. So I would love to see Gathering of Iowa Painters, GOIP. That would be awesome. And you know who you need to talk to is our best friend in the industry, Phil Klein. He is one of the kindest, smartest, progressive, aggressive people in our industry. You need to contact Phil Klein if you haven't already, and you guys can get it going. Otherwise, you're always welcome here in Minnesota with us guys. So Dean Blue just saw this and joined in. I think I'm admirable and a huge win to commit to pay your employees while you were shut down. I just say, wow. Yeah, it's good and bad, right? You don't want to you want to take care of your people, but you also don't want to create a whole bunch of whack economic incentives either, too. So it's not the way it works. So you got to be patient, but we win with people, and I care for my people deeply, and we're going to do it here. So I can't get Justin. I can't get below 20% paint. So depending on the size of your business, Justin, that ratio is going to be a little bit different. And I'm happy to discuss with you offline if you ever want to email me. Nick@nickslavik.com. We can always discuss the intricacies of larger, smaller businesses, things like that. Leonardo Saverio. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Um, Samuel Chandler heading to Hawaii. Well done, man. That's awesome. Here we go. This is the stuff I love. Steve Lockwood. How long does it take to get an experienced painter to get used to your SOPs? So that's a very subjective question. We can, data points, in our Apprenticeship 2.0 program, where we actually have a training facility in our shop. We have a whole bunch of fake bedrooms and kitchens and things like that for people to train on. We can get somebody to paint the walls in a bedroom under budget in about 2 weeks, give or take, with various training. Maybe one callback, maybe a little bit of guidance here or there. The other data point I can give you is that when somebody works 2,000 hours, or the equivalent of 1 year, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, that's 2,000 hours. In my company, the way we do things, they will be able to basically do every single thing that we do: interior, exterior, decks, cabinets, trim, walls, ceilings, everything, to standard, under budget, with our systems and stuff here. So again, it's a big investment in people. You can get some quick wins early, but we all know that it takes experience, especially when we're doing what we're doing, which is attracting decent human beings, which have not been in the trade historically. So let's see what else we got here. I want to take a drink, but I also want to read a question. Rick Mixell. Wait, I've never heard of the Gathering of Ohio Painters. Listen, man, I think it might be Aaron Michael Steininger. You may want to contact him if memory serves for that group there. Goop, Gathering of Ohio Painters. I was actually virtually in their first meeting, and it was an awesome group of people. So I love it. Oh, Samuel, Gathering of Hawaiian Painters, GAP. I love that. Listen, man. If there was a gathering of Hawaiian painters and you guys had a meeting, I guarantee you I would be there in person. That would be an awesome thing. So before you had the shop, did you train on job sites? Steve, I love this question. Yes. For 13 years, we train people in other people's houses because we practice something that we call, I stole this from the Army, quiet professionalism. Some of the most inspiring humans I've ever met are special forces operators, guys who do something more than just standard soldiers do. And one thing that I was the most impressed about was, so none of them looked like Rambo, right? None of them had these bulging muscles. In fact, some of them had beer bellies, but they performed like nobody I've ever seen. And all of them adhered to this principle called quiet professionalism, which is they are not wearing a Green Beret t-shirt down at the bar on Friday night. And they're not screaming about how they're in special forces. They just operate, they just go about their world, go about their life like normal people do, and just let things be. They know they're good enough. They don't need to tell everybody. And the same thing, I stole that quiet professional principle and brought it back to the company. And when we always have somebody who's experienced working with somebody who's inexperienced, because we're a training company. So we basically tell people, just be a quiet professional. You do not need to go into somebody's house and scream at the top of your lungs, this is my first day, I've never done this, what the heck is going on? Don't worry about it. We have systems, we have processes. We're going to take care of you. Ask Trainer Tina. Trainer Tina is on site with you. She is a master. She will stand in front of the client and take all that flack. She will also teach you everything you need to know. We have a group of the most thoughtful, respectable, insanely talented and thoughtful people. I said thoughtful twice. They're that thoughtful. Craftspeople in this company. And they look out for one another. They care deeply for other people, and they want to win. They legitimately want to win with other people. So yeah, it's a great thing. So yeah, legitimately, we've been only doing Apprenticeship 2.0, which is a training facility, for less than a year, if we're being honest. So yeah, I would never look to other people and say, you must have a training facility. You must have fake bedrooms and kitchens and bathrooms and stairwells and things like that and train people, because I haven't. And we've had a lot of success with it too. So, oh, here we go. All right. Training got to people. So Steve Lockwood, now you train before they are on site for you, or are they with someone else? We have generally a dedicated trainer that they do 2 weeks of training in our shop. And we subscribe to the Doragi method of training. And I'm gonna butcher this because I'm drinking whiskey, but it's a you can just look this up, Doragi, Doragi. Uh, Google it, and it'll tell you what kind of training method that is. But it's a general principle of training people, where you demonstrate, observe, re-demonstrate, assess, assign a goal. So again, I'm gonna butcher the last couple, but the basic idea is the crawl, walk, run thing, where you do something with them, you observe them doing it, you re-demonstrate to recalibrate them, then you give them a goal, and then you hold them accountable to the goal like that. So that's basically it. It's taking the patience to do this, which is the thing. Because again, I give people all of my standard operating procedures, my SOPs, but you know what? If there's not somebody there to hold somebody accountable and train and care for another person, you're never going to do it. So, David, we hired a new employee this week. How long do you keep your new people in training before you're letting them on their own? I would say ASAP. What we do is our 2-week apprenticeship 2.0, where we teach them away from people's houses, but then they're right out in the field with the experienced craftsperson. We kind of assign them a mentor and a crew leader and all things like that. So, Steve, no problem. I got to get back to IG here. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming through IG, and I want to make sure I get this stuff. Oh my God, AMK, love it, man. Thanks for watching. Aaron, you're the man. I haven't seen you in a while. I would like to see you again. I know you're super busy though, Aaron. So let's get together soon. Oh my God. Brian James. Oh, thanks a lot, man. Good to see you again. The right painter. How are you, man? Oh my God, Rianne Silva. Hey Nick, remember when you came to Sinai? Lenswai Paulista. So interesting notes to all my Brazilian pintor people out there. I miss you guys, and we're actually planning a return trip to Brazil this fall. It's likely that we will do something October, give or take. One of my dearest friends in the world, Ronnie, who people got to know and love in the last couple of years in the U.S. painting industry, because we brought him here. He is my confidant. He is my friend. He is one of the deepest thinkers in Brazil. He is also my interpreter. And when I go over there, he knows my story better than I do, and he can recite it to people. And he is also the life of the party. So it's very likely that you guys will see me in Brazil sometime in the next 3 months, doing some very special things. Most painters in the United States may not know Giuliano Alcantara, but Giuliano might be the most known painter in the entire world. He is so widespread. He is an advocate for the trades. He is a lover of the craft. He is progressive and aggressive, and he is a guy that I know and talk to. And what we're trying to do is get Ronnie and me and Giuliano together. And we are going to try to break the painter internet and do some amazing things for people in our trade later on this year. So look forward to that. I will. Oh yeah, Leonardo Silverio. I get. If you ever want to find out where the Brazilian painters are in the United States, mention that you're going to Brazil, and everybody's like, "I'll go with you. I'll be the interpreter." It's like, listen, I would take every dang one of you guys with me. Lord knows, Genesis Mercado from New York, Mercedo from New York, all the Palette Pro guys, they're all Brazilians. And you know what? I wish I could take all you guys with me, and maybe we can. So, but this will actually be, there's a poster on my war room wall right there that was given to me by the Brazilians the last time I went a few years ago. And it was a life-changing event. Yeah, we like to think really big of ourselves in the United States when we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 painters in a group here. And that's awesome. Like that is so commendable. It's admirable. But in Brazil, you'll have 160,000 painters in a painters group, and they are a special connected group of people. It's just not another country that connects. There's something special going on in Brazil. These people are the most passionate people about the trades that I've ever seen in my life. And they have a whole bunch of weird restrictions put on them because of the government. And my heart bleeds for them because it's not doing them any favors. And so I don't believe that I would ever enact change in a wide way for those people. But I do also know that getting together and sharing knowledge, we all do better when we all do better. And that includes not only in Minnesota, like we did today at the Gathering of Minnesota Painters, but in cross countries. Legitimately, we can do better. There are so many things that us United States painters can learn from these Brazilians. I am not kidding. It's one of the most inspirational group of people I've ever been around. So yeah, it's amazing. So Lençói Paulista will always be a special place for me. And for everybody who was there, you'll know why. It was, yeah, very, very special. Oh, Jerry, how's it going? Thank you very much. Oh, the Mallory Paint Store chiming in. Love you guys. Thank you so much for having me out there. So, yes, Aaron, let's hydrate soon. Anytime, man. You know, you got an open invitation. And also, I would like to swing through and do a little Wisconsin stuff pretty soon, too. So, we got to get together. I got to stay hydrated here. So, oh, Rivera. Best regards from Quadra Island, British Columbia. Oh, man. I wish they would open up that border to Canada already. Because not only do I want to see a whole bunch of people that I know and love from the industry, but one of my favorite places on this face of the planet is way up in the wilderness, straight above Minnesota. Caribou National Wildlife Refuge. I think I got the name right, but you got to take float planes in there and they drop you off. And basically, you see Indian petroglyphs, you see lands that are burned, regrown, and you've seen things that probably haven't been touched in thousands and thousands of years, give or take. It's just like it was back then, and it is pure wilderness. So, yeah, I would love to get back there again. So, oh, Rian, Ronnie is the best. He is my lovely friend. Yes, Ronnie is a special person. We're talking Brazilian stuff now. Yeah, Ronnie is a very special person. He's actually going to come here to Minnesota and hang out with me for a while before we go back to Brazil um, later on this year. So it's going to be wild. It is going to be absolutely wild. Oh, Marcelo speaks of you every day. Oh my God. So Marcelo and his wife are some of the greatest people I ever met in Brazil. Marcelo is a technical school teacher there, a professor. Love these people. When I went to Brazil, they were actually building their house and they were getting the pool made and everything. And they gave us a whole tour. They had I will not try to remember the name, but they had the barbecue outside, as every good Brazilian person does, and it is the most amazing thing ever. And yeah, I mean, I can't tell you guys how special Brazil was to me because it opened my eyes to a different culture, but a culture that's not dissimilar from ours because we care deeply about humans, we care deeply about the trade, and yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. It's going to be a fun thing this year. So, oh, Rivera, how's it going? How was your day? Yes. So interestingly enough, we had the Gathering of Minnesota Painters today. We had a full house. Sherwin-Williams sponsored it. They had a barbecue catered lunch in there. And we did something really cool today, which was we tapped 4 of our members. And this is not, so the Gathering of Minnesota Painters, like I do a lot of posting on it. Jason does a lot of posting on it, but this isn't a group for us. We just took the initiative to start the Facebook group, and we really want it to be a member-driven group, and it is. Most of the stuff coming from the group is the member-driven stuff. And we had a great group. And I see Cami actually on Facebook here. We had a group of 4 people today, 4 members of the group, actually get on a panel discussion. And I grilled them with questions. The whole group grilled them with questions about something very interesting to me, which is, what do you do with your day? We talked about, what time do you get up? What do you eat in the morning? What's your rituals? What must be done during the day? When do you have lunch? What do you eat for lunch? When do you get done with the day? When do you do your estimates? What do you think about most? We talked about all those things today. And I cannot tell you how valuable that stuff is to me. Because a lot of us are on islands. We have a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of head trash, and we can get hypercritical of what we do. And sometimes it's really good to get some data points from other people. So yeah, Rivera, that's a long way around saying I was insanely energized by gathering up with a whole big group of Minnesota painters today. And we had such a good time, man. Like, every single person there was just like, it's sunny here. It's summer. Summer doesn't go on forever in Minnesota. And everybody walked away with saying, best thing you could have done with a day, give or take, doing that. So I love that kind of stuff. So yes, Aaron, rising tide lifts all boats. I couldn't agree more, man. Holy cow, everybody. Here we go. All right, let's go back to Facebook real quick here, and then we'll probably call her a night here because it is 10 o'clock. I am going to finish packing. I have been re-rigging all my fishing gear, my crab traps, my cast nets, my everything else here, making sure we're all set. I've been charging up all my, if you guys could see the table here, there is 1,000 cords of charging all the tech that we need to supply a family for something like this. Yeah, all the GoPros and all the headphones and all the things to keep people busy on planes and all that other stuff. And it's a wonderful thing. So, oh, Cami, last one for the night. Thank you for getting Minnesota together today. Enjoy your vacation. I will. Yeah, and you guys know I will. And boy, look forward to an insanely introspective next Ask a Painter live show. If you guys want to know what's in store for you, you can go back through the archive and you can look up when I've been on this tropical island before. It is a very special place to me and my family. And yeah, it's again, like I started the show, when you go to a place like this, I've made preparations all week. I've probably put in about 93 hours already this week, just making sure that everything's taken care of, because I don't want fires when I'm gone. For my people's sake, listen, I'm fine with checking in and doing stuff, but for my people's sake, I just don't want things to come up that I'm the only one that can deal with it. So I put in a lot of hours this week, and it's going to feel great to just hang out with my family for a week now. And when you're forced to step out of your day-to-day, when you're forced to stop emailing and stop contacting and stop planning, envisioning, and all this other stuff, you're left with your own thoughts, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. And I love it, because you're forced to reckon with a whole different set of thoughts than you normally would. And that is, so I actually plan envisioning time every day. And visioning is kind of a weird, gross word. But visioning is basically looking to the future and trying to plan out stuff. And what I find myself doing on these vacations is looking at my little kids, looking at my wife, thinking about the future in a different way than I normally do, not just business wise, like revenue and people and things and strategy and tactics and things like that, but actually thinking about, like, you're almost removed from it. So you can look at more of the human aspect and the family aspect of it, of like, what is actually freedom? You know, like what you say you're building a freedom machine, but like, how do you know when you'll do it? How do you know when it's done? Will it ever be done? Things like that. And you're kind of forced to reckon with a lot of thoughts about that stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I love that sort of thing. And I can't bring myself to do it a lot of the times because there's just so much stuff to do and so many people to take care of, give or take. So yeah, that's what you guys have to look forward to next week. So if you're looking forward to a whole bunch of oil primer talk, it's not going to be it next week. It's going to be a whole bunch of introspective thoughts from a beach, most likely a sunset, and that sort of thing. So thank you guys. I love this sort of thing. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everybody taking time out from their Friday nights and doing this. And we will see you guys next week.